if you are backing someone to go on to make 10,000 runs in Test match cricket next Sri Lankan, I think it's easily going to be Kusal Mendis.
He hasn't done as much as we expected him to do, and also as much as I think people know he is capable of doing.
Simple matter, I mean, go easy on the lad. Obviously, I mean, he's the most talented kid in town these days.
Hello and welcome to ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's number one sports hub. Today we'll be discussing about a special topic, a special player, Kusal Mendis. Kusal Mendis, he has been one of the objects for most of the social media trolls right after the South Africa series. He had a bad string of three ducks in South Africa. That's after he performed well in 2019. And to discuss more about Kusal Mendes' fortunes and everything related to him, I've got two special guests with me. Still Vasudevan, editorial manager at ThePapare.com, and Rex Clementine, one of the senior cricket journalists in Sri Lanka. So good to have you both with us today. First of all, Rex, why do you think people make so much of social media memes on Kusal Mendis?
I think, I mean, the things that they say is that people like Kumar Sangakkar and Malo were very lucky that during their careers that there was no social media. I think, I would say that Kusal himself is at blame for some of the things that's going on right now, because I don't know whether you remember when he got that match-winning 8-3 knock, he had a go at people who are doing social media. So I think it's now time for them to have a crack at them. I mean, it's fine as long as I mean, it's good fun and no malice intended. But you tend to think that things are sometimes getting out of hand, and that is when you don't feel very good at times.
Still, Kusal had a very good start to his career. If we look at some of the stats, he has been really well in his start, but now he has an average of just 35 and 89 innings, 3,007 runs. Do you think he hasn't lived up to his expectations? That's why the fans are going up in arms against him.
Yeah, I think there are two sides to it, Damit. In terms of his performance, I don't think even he would say that he has performed to expectations. He definitely has fallen short to a degree in that um, he hasn't done as much as we expected him to do, and also as much as I think people know he is capable of doing. But at the same time, I think in that sense, maybe that is why a lot of fans also are critical. I say fans, not trolls, but fans I think mostly are critical because you think back at some of the knocks he has played, you can see that he is capable of a lot, that he has the temperament for especially test cricket, and he has the talent to really go far in the game. So I think fans are critical, and I think that some of that criticism is fair in that sense. But of course, like Rex mentioned, uh, the trolls are going after him for a whole other reason. I think it's begun to get personal. So definitely there has been a shortfall on his part in terms of performance. He had a very good year in 2018. I think he made over 1,000 runs that year. But before and after that, he's averaging in the 30s. He's played like a few good, really good knocks, like back to the wall knocks, match winning knocks. But on the whole, his record, I think he would definitely want to finish his career with a much higher average and much better performance.
Rex, you've seen some of his knocks overseas and in Sri Lanka as well. You believe that he has the potential to go and be one of the greats in Sri Lanka?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you are backing someone to go on to make 10,000 runs in Test match cricket next, Sri Lankan, I think it's easily going to be Kusal Mendis. He's already got over 3,000 runs in 46 Test matches. I think the problem that I have with Kusal is that I mean, this the second test match in Joburg was just bad luck for him. First innings he was dismissed by a very good ball, and the second innings it was an excellent catch. So you can't really blame too much for the way he got up. But I mean, my issue is some of the knocks. When he's set, when he's going on, and finishing the game. He sometimes, the way he gets out is a little bit disappointing. If you take, for example, the third Test match against England at SSE, there he was almost, making sure that Sri Lanka would not lose that Test match. But then that run out happened. He took the first run, very casual approach, and he was found short from a direct hit from Jack Leach. And then on those two occasions when he had an opportunity to make a double hundred in Bangladesh and in Gaul, once he was on 194 and once he was on 196. On both occasions, he tried to get to the double hundred with a six. So, when he does things like that, that is when he's most disappointing. That, you have talent. You hope that, he will learn from his past mistakes. It has taken him much longer time than that it has taken others to learn from their past mistakes. And when things don't go your way, it's really hard, and then only you believe that sometimes you went on to convert some of those starts and finish off the game.
Still now, when you analyze the stats of all the current players in the last 5 years, Dimut Karunaratne is the only player who has scored more runs than Kusal Mendis in Test. But Kusal has not been doing so well in ODIs and in T20s when you compare with Test match cricket. So, do you think he should maybe focus on one format, or maybe the support staff should figure out some way in playing him in all three formats?
Personally, I believe that as the type of player he is, he can be successful in all three formats. But I think at the moment, we can afford to let him focus on either both Test and ODIs or only Test cricket, because there are a lot of players coming through the ranks in T20 cricket in particular. We saw when we toured Pakistan how many new faces were able to show that they're capable of stepping up to that mark. And with the LPL also coming in, I think there's not going to be that dearth of talent to fill up that batting order. But certainly in Test cricket, he's a must-have in the team, I believe. In ODI cricket too, I think at number 3 or number 4, there is a place for him. He just, like Rex mentioned, needs to learn from the mistakes that have been his downfall in the past and grow. Because, like you said, over the last 5 years, uh, in between Sri Lankan players, he is number 2 after Dimuth Karunaratne in terms of runs. But I think overall, if you compare across the globe, at number 3 and number 4, the guys who are setting the standards, right? It's the Virat Kohlis, Pujaras, Steve Smith, Joe Root. Those are the guys who are setting the standards. So I think if you are to be a world class player, and I think a lot of people are looking at him for that, then he needs to be pushing at those levels. He can't be satisfied with, okay, I've made the most number of runs for Sri Lanka in the last 5 years. He needs to move beyond that. I think that's overall, not only with Kusal Mendis, but overall in our team. They need to, I think, push beyond being the best in Sri Lanka and try to go towards challenging those top players across the world.
Rex, what do you think about Kusal managing him for a couple of formats or all three formats? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think the same debate was there, when the team went to India sometime back. They should be taken out of the shortest format of the game, T20 cricket. But then, he's just 25, and he's got that match winning abilities. And right now, he may be having some technical glitches. Looks, I think the coaches would be in a position to sort of give a better as to what exactly is wrong with Kusal. But looking from a distance, there seems to be a couple of technical issues. Is not moving his feet and playing from the crease and things like that. So maybe a temporary break would be okay from the England series. That is kept out of the England series, but something like that they did in India. They did not play him in India, but just kept him in the squad and worked on the technical aspects of the game, because this is going to be a bumper cricket. Lots of contests are coming up. I wouldn't be sort of advocating him being sort of kept up from one format and being played in the other format. I'd rather think maybe a break here and there, but it should be very much a plan in all three formats.
But with several injuries to some of the main batsmen in the Sri Lankan squad, do you think SL Sri Lanka can afford to keep Mendis to the bench, considering all the injuries during the England series?
I think here, yeah, you have a really good point with a lot of the batsmen not available for the team. Uh, he is going to be a part in that lineup because you have guys like Chandimal, Dhananjay De Silva missing out, then Kusal Mendis's role in that team, his responsibilities are much higher. Uh, there is a point where he has been quite successful in goal. He has made a few runs there. I think the 194 against Bangladesh also came at goal. So perhaps it might be a good idea to play him in series, give him an opportunity at home. I mean, people criticize about the way he played in South Africa, but we must also understand that those aren't the easiest pitches to bat on. The only one who has failed. For the years, Sri Lanka has struggled in the master pitches around the world. So maybe it could go both ways, but maybe giving him an opportunity at home in a grounds where he has made runs before might be a good risk to take, particularly at this when Sri Lanka cricket is in this position where a lot of players are not available to them.
Also, Rex, you've covered cricket for the past 2 decades, and you've been in that pre-social media era, and now in this social media era. And those days, all the critics would have been only the journalists from the papers only for the players. Now there are so many thousands of critics through social media. How do you see a player coming out of this? How do they shut off all this social media pressure? How do you think players from those era took on those media pressure? Now it's media plus social media pressure. What do you reckon the players should do now? Not only Kusal Mendis, lots of players are going through the same problem now.
Well, mainstream media, some of the players in the past have struggled to cope with the criticism, I must say. It's just that, one of those things, there was a concept some time back saying just don't read the papers. Maybe, someone can come and tell Kusal that, listen, don't just engage with social media too much. Maybe one way of dealing with the issue. But the thing is, I'd like to sort of go back to something that was mooted by Sri Lankan cricket many years ago. I think 2002, Mr. M. Kamarsurya, as a chairman of the board, he was trying to, bring in this cricket academy where the players were not only going to work on the technical side of the game, but away from the game as well, as to sort of how to deal with the media, how to sort of dress, and how to sort of speak, how to use a fork and a spoon, small things like that. I think he had a great concept to sort of have the residential uh, clinic like thing, where players will be based in the academy and learning all these things for a period of 9 months. It was a very good concept. Unfortunately, due to lack of funds, that didn't take off. Maybe, something that people can think about at the moment, uh, given, there's too many distractions that young players have right now. That could be a concept that they could look into to help players deal with things.
Still, what's your take on that? Now that we are in this social media era, how do you plan on, I mean, helping a player? How do they overcome these challenges of social media?
Yeah, I think what Rex said is spot on. I think players do need training not only on technique and playing the game, but also an important aspect of all sport now. All professional sport is your mind. I mean, in that sense, I think Sri Lanka has fallen behind in all sports where it comes to engaging with your the mental aspect of the game consistently. Like we have had sports psychologists and consultants working with the team in the past, but it's always been on like a consultancy basis. But I think overall, to look at the larger issue, Sri Lanka has always been known as a country that produces talent. But I think since of late, it's been particularly clear that we are finding it difficult to consistently transform that talent and potential to performance. So in the case of someone like Kusal Mendis, that's really clear. I think a lot of past players have spoken about how talented he is, but we need to find a way where we can transfer that potential and that talent to performance on the field. And I think there's no denying that some trading on the mental aspect on building that will help players like Mendes, Chandimal, even the Mutkarnaratna guys like that, because it's not just about going out there and using your back and your hands to catch the ball or whatever. It's also in your mind and how you think and how you're able to cope with pressures like this, because whether we like it or not, this troll culture, the social media criticism is here to stay. So guys like Mendes have a choice, either just kind of flicker away, or they find a way to deal with it and they find a way to overcome it. So I think that's going to be very important to the progress of not only him individually but Sri Lanka as a team in the future.
Rex, finally, England series, Kusal Mendes may play or might not play. What's your final advice to the fans and to a particular player like Mendes?
Oh, it's just a simple matter, go easy on the lad. Obviously, he's the most talented kid in town these days. If you take, some of the old time greats of fast sport like Mahela and Kumar at the age of 25, which Kusal is right now, their records were pretty much similar. There's nothing much of a difference between them and Kusal. So, just, believe that he's going to make it. The real issue that I have is that Kusal's sort of played brilliantly in goal throughout his career. I think he averages there something like 42, which is way above his career average. I mean, it's just that his versatile skill set in handling spinners is going to be vital in goal. But given what he's done in the last series, the most sensible thing the selector would do is to keep him out. And I think that if he's not sort of, mentally not all there, it'll be a fair call to keep him out. I don't think, Chandimal is going to be ruled out of the series. I think he's going to be available for the series. Dhananjay, of course, is ruled out. Then, of course, Angelo's returning to the side as well. So is someone like Roshan Silva, who's got a pretty impressive record. So, we are not actually short of players. And if Kusal does have, technical issues to deal with, it's a fair call to sort of, leave him out. So the point that I'm trying to emphasize is that maybe, if Kusal needs a break, they can give him a break for the England series. But then he certainly should be on that plane to West Indies. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. It's too good a player to sort of go through bad patch for too long. And also, I mean, I keep telling the fact that one of the best examples that we can always take is Sanath Jayasuriya. Just one half century in his first 50 games, 5-0. But they had faith that, I mean, he's going to deliver, and they backed him. And when he came good, Sri Lanka was at, Sri Lanka was in safe hands. He was winning you plenty of games. So similarly with Kusal, I mean, he's gone through a bad patch, and they just need to back him and give him all the support that is needed for him to come out of the slump and go on to achieve greater things for Sri Lanka cricket.
Thank you very much, Rex and Estelle, for joining with us in analyzing this whole situation involving Kusal Mendis. So we hope to hear from both of you soon again, as ThePapare.com will be looking forward in bringing a lot of news and updates throughout the upcoming heavy schedule for Sri Lanka in 2021. So hopefully, Kusal Mendis didn't start off well in 2021, but hopefully he'll end it on a good way and hopefully have a great year. So as Rex told everybody, let's go easy on the lad. Thank you very much for joining with us, and we hope to hear and be with everyone soon again. Thank you very much.